Oh, hey guys. Just looking at my Johnny Tremaine book here. Actually, it's not a book, it's a DVD. We'll watch a little bit of this later on. We're going to get into something called the Boston Tea Party today. You probably heard about it a little bit. It's one of those deals that was a really big deal in American history. Basically, what it is a really big public retaliation to the Tea Act, which was part of the Townshend Acts. The colonists were upset with the king for this tax that he forced on them. Basically, what it really was a tax on all other teas other than the East India Company. The colonists felt that that was an inferior tea. They didn't want that stuff. They didn't like it. So therefore, they wanted to get rid of it. They didn't like the idea that they couldn't choose the type of tea that they wanted to drink. The rules of Boston Harbor were as such. When a ship came in, it had 30 days to be unloaded. Otherwise, it was considered free to go somewhere else to sell whatever they had on it somewhere else. So what happened was when this ship came in with all this tea on it, nobody went to unload it. So that ship had to stay there for 30 days. All right. Well, the thing about it is, if the ship doesn't get unloaded and they can go somewhere else, the government and the East India Company don't lose any money on that because it's one thing to boycott, but in this case, the way that well, let me back up. The way that the East India Company was going to make money and ultimately the government was going to make money was by selling that tea. If they don't unload it off the ship, it can't be sold. Okay, so you could boycott it as the colonists did essentially, but after 30 days, it was free to go somewhere else to sell that tea. So it kind of defeats the purpose. You know what I mean? So the colonists did, a group of colonists called the Sons of Liberty, which is kind of what Johnny Tremaine gets talking about. What they decided to do was they waited till like day 29, and then they snuck onto the ship then, and threw all the tea into the harbor, thus destroying the tea, so it could not be sold. Literally, could not be sold. So not only was it not bought in that first 29 days, then it was destroyed. So it literally could not be taken anywhere else because it was floating and mixing into Boston Harbor. Obviously, the Crown, the King, as well as the East India Company, was quite upset by this, and there was some retaliations by them too. But that's kind of where things lead to. Um, Today, we are going to look at parts of the Boston Tea Party um, from the perspective. Well, really, we're dealing with perspective, is what we're dealing with. On one hand, you've got the British side. On one hand, you've got the colonist side. Obviously, the British side, they're going to be upset about this. The colonists feel that they've been messed with. They're also upset, but they're both upset for different reasons. It's kind of like looking at things from opposite ends, so to speak. It's all about perspective. So that's what we're going to do today here as you get working. You'll see on here it says you're going to open up the Tea Party Matrix PDF, which is down there. That's what you're going to be filling out just like you did with the stuff for the Boston Massacre. Then there's a British point of view that you need to read. That's a first-hand account from well, I don't think it's a first-hand account actually. I think it's just a British point of view. And then there's three other ones that are actual people: George Hughes, John Andrews, and Samuel Cooper. I would like you to read at least two of the three, if not all three of them, and then fill out that matrix as you're going through it. And then there's a quick check that you need to do, and then if you get through all that, you can watch CNN 10 at the end of this class period if you want to. Okay. Anyway, that's what you got going today, and I'll see you soon.